But I want for assurance to say, as leader of the Sierra Leone People's Party, I don't lead at one point in the history of this country. At a watershed moment, I make decisions we make Salon done they will say it today. My name is Samura Kamara. I'm the flag bearer for the APC party. I'm going to take over from President Nkrumah as the next president of Sierra Leone. And I ask for your support because we believe in President Nkrumah, which he don't do for we. And therefore, when he choose me for let me can continue the good work we don't do and for do more.
Just 4 weeks ago, we confirmed that we have 2 billion barrels of petroleum. Yes, sir. The poorest country in the world now discovers 2 billion barrels.
Breaking news. The Coalition for Change, C4C, don't get the final party certificate. We go bring on the detailed news stories. We go bring on the interviews for all the people that were involved inside C4C. But right now, with the broadcast from the entertainment division.
All the supporters will let them conduct themselves for a peaceful election. You know, means say you know go campaign to pursue whether in other party.
People must understand that the situation then and now are different. As a political party, we weighed the pros and cons, and we are convinced that at that time, since we did not qualify for the runoff, we should lend support to APC, believing that the flag bearer of APC, who is now the President of the Republic, would present a new type of politics in this country, which will take the country ahead of where she was at the time.
Welcome to Sherix Broadcast Network. Of course, today we just want to do a quick broadcast on this issue of dual citizenship in Sierra Leone. So I don't want to be time for the right about this time, and of course we're not going to be a long broadcast, not just a very quick one, because we get for bring to updates on what they go on as far as this dual citizenship is concerned, right? And so Madam Ikwe would decide for come back up in the era, of course, at this point in time, and of course we will go on live on YouTube. We're on YouTube live today. So so we just want for maybe David Will for a quick moment as we make this happen. So basically what's in the happen today, you know, so from the last broadcast we've been there for Brinkham, this thing is too loud, I think. We've been there for Brinkham a broadcast specifically on the dual citizenship in Sierra Leone, where the APC government they try for stop some members of various political parties will hold dual citizenship in other countries then. So we want to bring an update on that this week, because to me we feel say very necessary, and just talking and writing about it not going to solve the problem. We therefore act decisively and collectively together for ensure say even if it not affect you directly this time, but it possible say at another time it will be your own turn. And apart from that, if everything will go on fine as Sierra Leone, the current predicament where Sierra Leone find itself into, not to return this for the play politics with the future of the country, not to return this for the for the mess with the people and future. And at this now the blatant show of how politics they play in Sierra Leone, now we don't begin to see now the country right now. So one for making a stick around as we continue for bringing the program right from studio number 2. Number 8 based in Houston, Texas. Stick around with us.
SBM AK. Listen, open your eyes, free your mind. Yeah, I can really smell the fear, and I they see the scars on them. I they also feel the pain, and I can relate with you. Salon people and they suffer, only a small few they thief and they get richer. Salon people and they cry, and the leaders they don't really care. But these leaders they not really fair. Over 80% people below poverty, but these people ain't too selfish. How you get mansions from the kingdom they sleep that hit? Because me a minister, that means that they above the law. Because now me not the power. Say you can tell me shit. David Tambayon are the truth monologue, and they put in a tight place. David Tambayon are the voice monologue, and they really try to cut the voice. What happened to democracy? What about freedom of speech? What happened to me people then? Salon future they get stacker. Locks, hold on, let them lock me. I they talk the truth. When you talk true, they say not trouble. They can't for stats when they be lock me up. Now it's small picking, not 2 years old. I look at your eyes, I see me picking. I swear to God, tears run down my eyes, and I ask hell I really why. For not picking out the talk, for the youth I go die. Now me people, now me life, Lord. Then go only kill me, but me voice don't go take, Lord. Then go try for stop me, but me voice no go stop, God. Every time I they move, police want to pull me over for not bribe, then go kill me, man. Big people they piss the streets, can't get gathered in the streets. Waiting up it so we control, man.
Hey, for no mama, me na streets, na streets are they get me living.
Teachers and the sleep for students, religious leaders and they worship devils. Picking the cause, mommy cause, and they thinking cool. Waiting happen so we control, man. I see close friends, they turn to foes. Foes, then they get closer. Forget the fame, forget the money, this not for me people. If I don't make a difference, I go see me dead and equal. Every time I close my eyes, I dey fetch down my dreams. I dey always come on top, victorious now my dreams. They say me people and they fetch me. Now why me brother want for hurt me? He did take me name to juju, why you want for do me voodoo? Why you know they believe in you, God, Lord. Salon people, let we get real. Let we open all with death ears. Let we stop for vote for tribal reasons. You from the south, I mean you SLPP. You from the north, I mean you APC. Let we never make the same mistake. Let we never vote for tribal sake. Now we the boost in the power and they turn to snakes. Waiting happen to cleaning day. Now governments we need for clean the place. More streets than they smell like feces. And now we sounds who they use like pieces.
Xavier Jordan.
Yes, of course, this now the message we will talk about. Of course, this is Black Gold AK, of course, from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Of course, it will talk about the reality of waiting and the life waiting on a Sierra Leone. Of course, now that's it they talk about right about this time. So one for tell plenty thinking. Of course, now then tia so kimeko can say with musical artists then will like waiting they do, right? Alright, and so for those of you who have been follow we, who have been watch we broadcast last week on Facebook. Of course, today we come to now live on YouTube. We have been watch we broadcast on Facebook. We've been talking exclusively about the dual citizenship issue. Of course, we must say inside the when it comes to this dual citizenship issue in Sierra Leone. Now, three different constitutions then we would talk about, or three different national legal documents that we would talk about in this instance. We would talk about the 1973 Citizenship Act of Sierra Leone. We would talk about the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, and we would talk about the 2006 Citizenship Amendment Act of Sierra Leone. Then three documents and other we talk about. But for all the documents that we don't talk about, the latest one where the president, a sitting president of the country, signed with that President Ahmad Jankaba. Now the one we talk about the 2006 Sierra Leone Amendment Act. Well, matter of fact, let us do this broadcast in English so that for some of the people we are sending our petition to, for them to understand exactly what we are discussing here. So since this discussion is a very exclusive discussion, it's a very exclusive broadcast that we are bringing to you today, let us discuss it in English. And so what we are saying here is that in our last broadcast, we broadcast to the people of Sierra Leone around the globe and in Sierra Leone exclusively about the Dual Citizenship Act, or the dual citizenship issue, which has become an issue in the electoral process in Sierra Leone right about this time. Because the ruling political party in the country, the All People's Congress, is deliberately embarking on a pattern of politicking, a pattern of politics that will deprive many Sierra Leoneans from participating in the electoral process in the country. And so many of us see this as a deliberate ploy employed by the incumbent All People's Congress to plunge Sierra Leone into another mayhem, to plunge Sierra Leone into another constitutional crisis, civil unrest, and quite a lot of other things that they want to do to derail the elections that are slated for March 7, 2018. And so, as Sierra Leoneans who have been witnesses to the many untold sufferings that the Sierra Leoneans have gone through in the past several years, we have decided that we can no longer sit by and allow politicians who do not mean well for the country to continue to plunge Sierra Leone into another anarchy. And so we have decided to take our case to the international community, to all diplomatic missions in the country, especially the Embassy of the United States of America, leader of the free world, promoter of democracy around the globe, and of course to the British High Commission in Sierra Leone, to the German Embassy, of course to all the other diplomatic missions, to the African Union, and to ECOWAS, for them to understand that this is another deliberate plan which the president and the leadership of the All People's Congress Party in governance are trying to do, right? And so what is the issue here? The issue here is that there are three legal documents that we are talking about here when we talk about this dual citizenship which the APC is trying to enforce now. We are talking about the 1973 Citizenship Act of Sierra Leone. We are also talking about the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, and we are talking about the 2006 Citizenship Amendment Act, which was signed by late President Ahmad Jankaba, and that was the latest document or amendment to citizenship in Sierra Leone that was signed by the late president. And so what is baffling about this whole issue is that the All People's Congress Party is now in 2017. I mean, in January 2018, elections are on March 7, 2018. In 2018, they are enforcing a dual citizenship amendment act or a dual citizenship clause in the 1991 constitution, which they have violated for 10 years, because the dual citizenship amendment act was signed in 2006 and the APC took over governance in Sierra Leone in 2007, and they disregarded the 1991 constitution and they decided to pursue and uphold the 2006 Citizenship Amendment Act, which was signed by the predecessor president, right? And so they upheld it. They gave several ministerial positions and other government positions to individuals who held dual citizenship in the country, and they have been serving in those positions for 10 consecutive years. So now that elections are around the corner and they have seen how the tide is about to turn against them, they have resorted to changing what they have been supporting for all 10 years. They are now changing it against people that they have seen as potential people whom the people of Sierra Leone have decided that they should take over the mantle of leadership in the country. And so because of that, they are now trying to enforce this dual citizenship clause in the 1991 constitution which they had abandoned for 10 years. And so the question arises as to why now? Why now? So that is the premise of our conversation here tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, we want you to continue to stick around as we continue to bring these programs to you, right? Stick around with us. Please join us now to sign this petition. If the Sierra Leonean Citizenship Act, amended in 2006, was signed by the former president of the country, late Ahmad Jankaba, and then it has been upheld since his signature by subsequent government of the All People's Congress, the APC, from 2007 to now, why change it now? And so, ladies and gentlemen, join us to petition this very retrogressive effort employed by the government and some political parties. Join the effort by signing the petition right now.
Conduct themselves for a peaceful election. You know, means say you know go campaign to pass the way in another party.
Oh, yesterday about the reality in our country. A country that's bitterly divided against itself. A country in which The poor are drowning in poverty while the rich swim in affluence. A country in which very few people can access justice. A country in which education is hardly affordable. A country in which the economy is battered.
Right, of course, so ladies and gentlemen, basically that is what we are talking about this week. Of course, so talking about the Dual Citizenship Clause again, or the Dual Citizenship Act, is very important that we pay attention to this. And so let us listen to Umar Fofana, one of our brothers, who happens to be a reporter for the BBC, as he reports on this dual citizenship. All right, so let's listen to Umar Fofana.
In a move that is as controversial as it is unprecedented, the ruling APC party disqualified their aspirants for selection to run for parliament if they carried any other country's passport. According to Sierra Leone's 1991 constitution, a citizen who has sworn allegiance to another country cannot become a lawmaker. They also cannot serve in cabinet. But 11 years ago, the citizenship law was amended to allow for dual nationality. However, Francis Gabidon, who teaches law at the University of Sierra Leone, says it still does not qualify dual citizens to become parliamentarians.
In 2006, the late President Kabar, through some vocal opposition from Sierra Leoneans abroad, decided to amend the law to allow dual citizenship. What many people did not realize was that even though this opportunity was given to Sierra Leoneans to have dual citizenship, there was a provision in our 1991 constitution which prevented dual citizens from standing for election for parliament. They cannot be elected, appointed ministers by the president, nor can they run for the presidency. If you renounce the other one, you'll have to show proof that you've renounced it.
In the last 10 years, many dual citizens were elected to parliament and appointed to cabinet by President Anes Koroma. So why is the party bent on implementing the law this time? Cornelius Devo is its spokesman.
Before now, the party had not paid due diligence to it because we assumed that all of those who are returning home from the diaspora to contest elections as Sierra Leoneans, and we concluded that they were Sierra Leoneans, and as such we did not give due diligence to inquire whether they possessed dual citizenship. We have decided to take a precautionary move by ensuring that all of those who are aspiring for our party symbols and who possess dual citizenship should not be granted the party symbol.
This is not a gimmick to disqualify two opposition candidates who are running for president, who are believed to be holding dual citizenship.
We are very much certain that the provisions of the law should be upheld.
Critics have accused the ruling party of carrying out the law to disqualify its opponents running for president. Mohamed Kamarimba Mansare, who draws his support from the ruling party's northern base, quoted a senior ruling party official as saying that they would disqualify him close to the elections based on his US citizenship. He said because of this, he chose not to naturalize as he was qualified to do. A former UN executive, Kanda Yumkela, who is wrestling off from the ruling party many votes in the northwest, is also believed to be being targeted. Suleiman Banjat Jansi is his campaign chairman.
We knew it was there. We had not heeded to that constitutional provision in the sense that we have always turned a blind eye to that provision. And now for the APC party to implement that provision, a lot of them were appointed to government as government ministers. For them now to go against them and to start marginalizing them, we believe as a mark of ingratitude and a further manifestation of APC's tendency to manipulate the constitution when it suits them. Rumors have it that the main thrust of this was to target Dr. Yumkela, but I am happy to inform Sierra Leoneans that Dr. Kanda Yumkela is a Sierra Leonean, and at the moment he holds no other citizenship.
When it's at the moment, has he renounced whatever other citizenship he might have held?
He renounced it as far back as November last year.
The debate among Sierra Leoneans is not only about the risk of technically knocking out certain candidates in this wide open presidential race. The country's diasporans are also up in arms, calling the move to bar them as unjust.
Right, and so ladies and gentlemen, you have heard what the BBC reporter, our brother Mr. Umar Fofana, has said exclusively on this issue. And so what we are saying here is that there are certain in that report, a few people spoke in that report. Of course, Cornelius DeVoe is one of the spokespersons for the APC government, and he said two things that I'm very uncomfortable with. One, he is saying that for the past 10 years, the APC government had not paid due diligence to the constitutional issues surrounding dual citizenship. So it is a flimsy excuse as far as I'm concerned, because the mere fact that you decide not to pay your due diligence or not to focus your attention on very important clauses within the constitution or the legal documents that govern how a country is to be governed, that means people are supposed to be comfortable with your idea just because you are government, you have not paid your due diligence, and so now it should be okay. So whatever time you decide to do whatever you want to do, the people should be okay with that. That is what I was able to deduce from what he just said. Because for 10 years, the APC government has been negligent. They did not pay attention. Either they have been negligent or they did it willfully, so they can gain political advantage, because they did not pay due diligence to these clauses that they want to enforce now, because they used it to put a lot of APC members into key government positions, including being ministers of government. A lot of them went to parliament using the same, abandoning the same clauses now that they want to enforce. So meaning that the APC government thinks that in a democratic state they can do anything that they decide to do and they can get away with it. Well, not this time. I don't think it's going to happen this time. And then he also made mention of the word assume. They were assuming that it was not important for them to pay attention to the three important documents: the 1973 Citizenship Act, the 1991 Constitution, and the 2006 Citizenship Act. So they were assuming that it was going to be okay. And so once they assume, how can you base governance on assumption? How can you definitely do that? You want to base governance on assumption. How can you do that? And that's what he's saying, comfortably. That's what he's saying. So this is the premise under which they are doing what they want to do, right? Now what they are really talking about is this 1991 Constitution. Let's take a look at it, right? This is the 1991 Constitution. This is what they are talking about exclusively. And so looking at that Constitution, it's actually, this is the 1991 Constitution right here. And so when you look at the clause 76 or Article 76, subsection 3 of this Sierra Leonean Constitution of 1991, it actually disqualifies Sierra Leoneans who hold dual citizenship not to run for position of parliament, not to be appointed to cabinet ministerial positions, and not to even take up jobs with important government parastatals, right? This is the 1991 Constitution. The Sierra Leonean democracy, which started in 1991, and of course this 1991 Constitution was used for the 1996 elections. And so when President Ahmad Jankaba came to power, he thought it fit that it was necessary for them to amend the Dual Citizenship Act, or to amend the Dual Citizenship Act, which they did. And in 2006, he signed it into law. And when the APC came, they decided to actually not pay attention to the 1991 Constitution anymore, because the president had signed the Citizenship Act of 2006, and which was the latest legal document. Now, according to Professor Gabidon is saying, even though the 2006 Citizenship Amendment Act was signed by the president in 2006, but the clause that we are looking at right now in the 1991 Constitution, which exempted Sierra Leoneans who hold dual citizenship to participate in leadership positions, like going to parliament or being appointed as cabinet ministers. So the 1991 Constitution surpasses the 2006 Citizenship Amendment Act. So that's why I don't understand these two things. But anyway, being that they are the way they are right now, but the fact remains that the APC government decided to abandon the 1991 Constitution and everything that it says about dual citizenship. That if you hold dual citizenship or you hold a citizenship in another country, then automatically you are disqualified to run for parliament or parliamentary position. You are disqualified to be appointed to cabinet position. APC abandoned those. They appointed a lot of their members who hold dual citizenship into cabinet positions, and they also ran for parliamentary seats. And for 10 years they have been in those positions. Now come January 2018, they want to change it all over. So no wonder we begin to see their own members very angry at them, because it is now unfair. Because what they are doing, they want to say, oh, we are setting the example on our own party first. So any other political party who fails to do the same, then you are in violation of the Constitution. Now their own members are mad, are angry at them. It's a backlash on them, right? So that is what is going on. So when you take a look at this, it is actually disqualifying people. It is disqualifying Sierra Leoneans living abroad, right? Who wants to run for these positions? It disqualifies them. And so, to me, it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for us to be even talking about this. But actually, for now, the only way, being that the APC government has now decided to to do what they are doing, trying to, marginalize people. They don't want certain people to run for certain positions. And so the only option left to Sierra Leoneans to fight this very abnormal way of doing things. I mean, we should not be surprised, because a lot of people were looking forward to something like this. We just didn't know when it would happen. But we knew that the APC government was going to come up with something to disturb the electoral process, to throw the entire electoral process into shambles, into confusion. And so that at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is for this president to stay in power for another year or two, which is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, the APC, the All People's Congress, and don't get me wrong, I have a lot of family members, not family members, friends, who are key members in the APC. So we always talk about this, and we always tell them that they play their own way of playing politics is completely unjust to the people of Sierra Leone. So the thing that is happening here is that, we expected them to do just what they are doing right now. Because from 1961, when Sierra Leone had its independence, until 2018 that we are talking to you today, the APC is not on record for organizing a free, fair, transparent and credible elections without violence, without intimidation, and hand over peacefully to an elected president. They have never done that in their lives. Never. And so why would anybody think that they will not bring in something that will throw this election into another turmoil, into another mayhem? And you see, these people do not care what the outcome of everything will be, whether their activities will plunge Sierra Leone into another anarchy, into another mayhem. You know, in 1991, they created the reasons for Sierra Leoneans to go into the bush and convert themselves into a revolutionary force as rebels, and they fought and killed about 50,000 Sierra Leoneans and forced 2 million Sierra Leoneans to flee the country and go to other countries as refugees. Many never returned. It is the same reason they are creating again for another mayhem in Sierra Leone by these actions. So it is good for us as Sierra Leoneans, wherever you are, whether you are saying, oh, I'm not interested in politics, oh, I'm not, this is the time when you are supposed to be interested, because may the Lord forbid, if anything happens wrong to this election, there is the potential for the country to be plunged into mayhem, to be plunged into anarchy, another civil unrest. And no Sierra Leone wants that. So that's why we are trying to present our case to the international community, to the US Embassy, or to the United States government, to the British High Commission, to the German government, all the countries around the world who promote democracy around the world. We are presenting our case to them through the petition that we have done. As a matter of fact, I want to take opportunity of this moment to thank a lot of you who have signed this petition, for actually signing the petition. Now we have about 709 people who have signed the petition. As a matter of fact, let us update and see if it is that number. Okay, it is now 712 people have signed the petition. But we are saying that we want to have as many signatures for this petition as we can, because as we are signing this petition, it is being sent to all of the the petition is going to the president of the government of Sierra Leone and 7 others. And who are they? The government of Sierra Leone, the international community, the diplomatic missions to Sierra Leone, United Nations, British High Commission, United States government, the African Union, and ECOWAS. This is going to all of them. So you have to sign this, because they know that when there is problem in Sierra Leone, may the Lord forbid, they are going to be forced to use their own monies, their own resources to help the country. And they have done that over and over and over. They need to help this country to stay on the path of democracy, to have a very peaceful and transparent elections. Right? This is very important. So this is the petition that is going around. You can easily go to change.org and search for the 2018 Sierra Leonean elections. All Sierra Leoneans matter. You go there, you see the petition, everything is there. People have signed it. About 712 people have signed the petition right now, and you need to go and add your signature to it. Right? Our target is to get to 2,000 signatures by Saturday. 2,000 signatures by Saturday. We are just about 280 or so away from 1,000. So if we can, today is Tuesday, if we can get it to that number, it will really help. So it will be good for us to do that. So this petition must be signed. Very, 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 very important. Alright, so this is the petition right here, and so we are asking Sierra Leoneans to sign the petition. Very important. Alright, so that's what we have as far as this issue is concerned. Very, very important. And so my people, we are also going to move on, and so at this time we're going to change to our lingua franca. Of course, we're going to now speak Creole. So we left Sudan. Now you see a very disturbing video, from a school that is catering to orphans of the Ebola crisis and some other vulnerable children. This school was established 4 years ago to take care of them, to teach them. They also have a church in the same compound. They have been trying to help people out, to help the students out. And then suddenly, without even any notice, we saw, we saw a video of the entire school being vandalized. They went there with caterpillars and they bulldozed everything. They vandalized the entire compound. They broke down most part of the buildings. My God, not even thinking about the children. And the children, this is a boarding home. The children were in the school. So they did not care even if they would have killed the children. And they went there with the police. Can you imagine? The police were there, and it is alleged that the police even stole most of the items they found in the school. Printers, copiers, books. They stole stuff. Police officers, Sierra Leonean police officers for that matter. Right? Let's take a look at the video and see what I'm talking about.
Tear it, the whiteboard, look at it. Break everywhere.
Total devastation.
This is the front of the school. This is the front of the school. As you can see. This is the school. They destroyed the school completely. Look at it.
And the name of the school is?
Nouvelle Christian Academy. Look at it. Look at the offices.
In Mechkem.
In Mechkem.
Godrich. Why then do this destruction here?
Because they say now they don't buy the 42-acre land. And the church they on just an acre, one, for Sierra Leone picking them. They say now they don't buy the 42-acre land, so they want them. But we acquired the land before them. But they use power, they use money. Yes. For can seize advantage from the poor one day.
So what you go do now for the picking them?
Well, we let the people in our Papa government here. We not get nothing for do for this time. Because school OP, this is not the second time this. School OP last week and tomorrow they begin for camp school. So we not get nothing for do right now. So all things left in our Papa government here.
Which message you want to send out to fellow Sierra Leoneans them?
Well, fellow Sierra Leoneans, at the top owner, we need for love we serve. We need for give priority to Sierra Leoneans. Me na Sierra Leonean. If they can't pull land, na salo money and for sell and give foreigners. What you feel say with the portray? Now this way Donald Trump they cause blacks, they say a more light. But now some of the things in this, we don't have feelings for our country, we don't have feelings for our citizens. If you alone, look at the vast land, 42 acres. You look at it. All over, look at the hills. Everywhere you say, now you get her. Just an acre for school and church. You say you know the left, you they sell all good Chinese man then. Well, let Papa government see no more. But we will not get no side for go. So we they tell Papa government, so we will not get no side for go. We need help. We need help with the school. We need help for the land. We also need help for the Pekin, especially the school Pekin. So now that's I want to tell Papa government. Right now we need help. They don't thief all things. The computer lab, the school books, they don't vandalize policemen, they don't thief everything. They don't care about it. So that's now then I want to tell Papa government say we did. Mechkem, Nouvelle compound, Nouvelle school, they need help. Of the school, this is one of the classrooms. Yeah, look at the blackboard, they tear it, the whiteboard. Look at it. Okay. Mina Mary Sonsiama. But I don't marry now. Mina Mrs. Nouvelle. Government give me this place 4 years ago. And we acquired and through Musa Tarawali and the late Konoima. They give me offer letter, give me they pay with NRA and all. But one man is saying I name Buski. Senosi Kagbo. He said he buy the land from bank when a 42-acre land. And the church, they on 1 acre, and the school. The school is 400 students. We give 65 Ebola and orphans free scholarship for the past 4 years. Buy for them books and everything, and we they support them educationally from where government abandoned them. Then we give some church members also scholarship. So then day after they said and don't buy the whole land 42 acres for selling, give one Chinese man. So we sit down yesterday, school day in session. Then come yesterday, class is day on with 3 truck police. Then work per me and me host, fling me things them, broke the school, look the church, broke the church, broke everywhere, no left nothing. Then say because now they don't acquire the 42-acre land. Then 3 Sierra Leoneans then outside for can't sell the land to Chinese man then. So right now we then have got the hand. We don't know waiting for do in the beginning they can't school tomorrow. So we then we serve the pastor and me and my wife now will sleep. Because we no get no side for go. One lady can't tell who side for go with 400 students and 300 church members. So now that. So now they place this. Church, look at the pulpit. Not afraid God. Then they ain't afraid God. Then well all sides. Look. Look at the church now and broke so. And the school. Finish the school. The education this way and say Buskis and Osi one. Now APC man don't sabotage the party. Now APC saying a chairman for the for real journal. Look at 1 month to election. Now they can't broke all side.
So how long you not done there at this place here for?
We done there this April for make we 4 years. They pay with NRA according to government law, government land where you acquire in 3 years time. Once you able for develop and the land belongs to you, we don't spend 1,700,000, 1 billion, 1,700,000. Now we don't spend at this land.
And how many picking at this school now?
We get 400 students, and 65 are free, which are Ebola's children and also orphan children. You see?
What side this school been there?
Now yeah, look at the school. Where you go front, now the school is. Where you go front, stay go so. It don't damage all sides. It bring caterpillar, 4 truck policeman them. Where I want video self, they nearly slap me, take me phone na me hand. Look at. And school day in session. Second term.
They been give you not any warning for say then they come.
No, not give we no warning, mama.
They give you not any documentation say you not don't come na the wrong side.
No
and
documentation. We not ever see document. Document no ever transpire between me and Buskis and Osi. Ever. You not show me document. Even where the police then come Brooklyn and say from court. We say where the court order. No, not even ask. No, not even answer we. Then just continue. Then spread all over. Look me on dwelling. Me and me picking there. The fling we close there all na do look at. All things, chairs, everything. Then broke outside.
The house of God. The house of God destroyed.
Of course. One fear no not get. Then the one fear. If you know say who say this on a God give life. Enough for can broke the house of God. Now the first one this one see APC government, APC man, Buskis and Osi, a broke school, a broke church. But we go and see what's in the commodity. Once this God they are alive.
What's in the name of this church, man?
This church now name Life Church Ministries. Now 14-year-old church. 14-year-old church.
And what's in the name of this area?
This now Mechkem compound. Mechkem compound, Godgich, Sierra Leone. Mechkem compound, Godgich, Sierra Leone. Tomorrow they get school, we don't know side for Sidon. Broke all the fence, break the school.
The place of God has been demolished, where the school that supports over 400 children
As you can see,
it has been demolished.
Scattered.
This is the back of the building where Ebola children are coming to be educated.
Free, and the government is not taking care of them.
Total destruction.
Total. Yeah, this is my own dwelling. Look at it. They throw my things outside. Every damn thing. Them throw outside. Look at them. Everything scattered. Everything scattered.
So what's going to happen to the Pekin there now? Wait for Calm School. Tomorrow.
MPSC them.
Let me talk for just one person. Let me just talk for one person. Okay, let me just talk for one person. Okay. We cannot talk in chorus. Let me just talk to one person. Let me just talk to one person. Are you the head guy?
Yes.
Okay. We are here on behalf of the Sierra Leone People's Party. This is Mr. Jimmy Batilo Songa. He is. Let's listen, please. Hey, let's listen. Let's listen, please. Oh God. Okay, you listen now, please. This is the national organizing secretary for the Sierra Leone People's Party. He is here on behalf of the Sierra Leone People's Party to sympathize with the school and as well as with your proprietor and proprietress, and to see the damages caused, you understand, over the weekend. So you have to behave yourself peacefully as you guys are doing, and then he will speak to you guys and also speak to the authorities. Yeah. So Mr. Songa, these are the students. I think she's the head girl. So what's your name?
My name is Mama Musibawa.
Okay, I'm here on behalf of the Sierra Leone People's Party. We've heard of your situation. I'm here to do assessment and to ensure that I report this matter to the presidential candidate, Julius Madabio, so that we can take it up with the relevant authorities. Reassure una say that talk for you, that all man understand. I want reassure una say this particular thing will happen to una. It run today, it run tomorrow, and I may do everything possible to get rid of this corrupt government.
We want to speak to the proprietor and the proprietress. Are they India? We go there. Let me talk for just one person. Let me just talk for one person. Okay, let me just talk for one person.
Oh my God! So guys, can you imagine this kind of thing happening to Sierra Leonean children? I mean, they'll claim them going at their school, this whole school is vandalized. Just because they want to take the land, a piece of land away, one town lot. I mean, acre, they are talking about 42 acres that belongs to one person. And in fact, they are selling these 42 acres to a Chinese, a foreigner, taking the land away from a Sierra Leonean citizen who is using this land to teach Sierra Leonean children that have been abandoned by the government, orphans, as a result of the Ebola crisis. Oh my God, I can't believe this. So they went and vandalized their school, broke everything down, threw their stuff out. You know? And now where are these kids gonna sit to take their classes? Where are they gonna be at? So this is very inhuman. I am thinking that any government that comes into power should actually set a commission of inquiry on these APC people, because this is too much. This is too much. This is against, they are creating every reason for civil unrest to happen in Sierra Leone. But by the power of God, it's not going to happen. We are going to have a free, fair, and credible elections, and the next government is going to be formed. And when that next government forms, you guys are going to be answerable for all of your actions right now. This is government. This is not your personal bona fide property. This is government. For everything you do in government, you should be answerable to the people. So today you have the upper hand to do everything that you are doing. But just remember that when somebody else takes over governance, you are going to answer questions. There's going to be a commission that will ask you questions. And so it's very inhuman. But anyway, my brothers and sisters, so basically that is what we have. We are also going to see if we can bring you an exclusive interview that we gave to members of the Coalition for Change. Of course, you know the Coalition for Change, the leadership of that Coalition for Change, just came back to the country, and politics is now at the climax. And so we are going to bring that interview to you guys. So stick around with us.
Hello, my family. Welcome to Sherix Broadcast Network, the place where we bring Africa live to whoever you there around the globe. Of course, always now a delight to be follow able for bring very special programs. Then so now, of course, talking to key people from Sierra Leone on key issues, and of course today we bring to a special program. When I know say way back a couple of months back, we talked to the representatives of the Coalition for Change in Sierra Leone, when at the C4C. At that time, they then have been just a movement, then have been an organization. We're not being a political organization, but they will make a promise for say, then get for transform themselves into a political party. And so they don't do that one day now. So today we decide for talk to them exclusively, from the United States. For me, I could tell you a little bit about that transformation and waiting at some of the agenda we then get for the people of Sierra Leone. So that that's what they can do now. So today on the line, we get the same two people that will be talked to the last time. Mr. Iafande and of course Betty Foray, we now the publicity, the PRO, I would say public relations officer for the C4C, and of course we will talk to them live from the Washington DC metro area today. Hello, Mr. Fande and Betty. Well, let me start with Betty. Actually, with a small problem with your microphone, but you don't come back. Okay, so. Let us start with Betty. Hello, Betty. How did you do today?
Fine, thank you.
That's good. That's good. Welcome to Sherix Broadcast Network. Now, a delight for talk to you today. Mr. Fande, how you do so?
Thank you. I do well.
That's good. That's good. And so, Betsy, so today we'll get for talk about the Coalition for Change. And of course, what will be kind of the last time you will make a very strong promise for, say, the party, the organization get for transform into a political party. So today we want for let you give you an update on waiting beyond they happen from the time we've been talking to una onto this day, and when I keep on a promise when I get for transform into a political party. So what is going on with that? Talk to us more about that, Betty.
Well, C4C for by the way, not even 1 year yet.
Right.
We're not officially 1 year yet, and I would commend the executive leader and all the executives and members of the C4C for way they're able to work together and passionately for them we're able to transform into a political party in the shortest possible time. If they check the records, they will find out the C4C now they are the only political party we formed within a year. All other ones we don't begin before. And I don't go on to the NGC because NGC then we don't already get a KKY movement where they go, and that KKY movement then I transform into a political party where they call NGC. Now, C4C we start, yes, we will get, like I be saying, we will get plans. We will get plan A to plan Z. And we will not say, we not go even need for reach plan C, for let we plans and work. And so far, I give God the glory that all the plans that we don't set, they work according to we schedule. And by March 2018, March 7, 2018, we presidential candidates, when His Excellency, the People's elected Vice President, Samuel Samsumana, will be the president of Sierra Leone. And at that day, we will not say all the points that we will put on the table, we achieve them. And we're very close right now. We're very, 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 very close to achieving the goals.
That's good. I like the optimism. And so, Mr. Fande, coming back to that, I think say plenty Sierra Leoneans, the first thing what they want to know is how the elected Vice President, Alhaji Abubakar Siddiqui Samsumana, how he become the presidential candidate of the Coalition for Change. Because soon we don't see too many activities on the part of this political party. And so you go on for comment on that small, because, people that really care for know that.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian, for inviting us again. We tell you thank you for the fact that you bring us back, as we promised. You've been bringing us earlier. Right. We'll come back. We'll transform into a political party.
Right.
At that point, just like Betty said, we just don't get started. And just like Betty said, within less than 1 year, we transform from a movement to a political party. Well, I tell you, C4C, it's a coalition that was made up of, different tribes, different walk of lives.
Mm-hmm.
So within the party itself, we decided to look who that would lead this change and this transformation. So it took us, a lot of debates. We put a lot of names on the table, a lot of candidates were discussed. At the end of the day, we, the C4C, decided, like I say, we want for Vice President Asmana lead.
Mm-hmm.
One, because we still be happy to was wrong. That's not number one indicator. Then, again, the guy is peaceful. Because I tell you, what did that happen? What did happen to Ram? Somebody is violent. If he decides to take in case to the streets, and a different thing for the talk today. So because of his peacefulness, because of his leadership skills, because of the fact that he loved a nation first, as you can tell, that's our motto. We decided to say, okay, this is the right leader for a small group where it just begin, but very dynamic, very energetic. They will bring him. So now we ask him, we approach him.
Mm-hmm.
He accepts to lead C4C. So this is how I don't call him former vice president, I call him vice president because he was elected.
Mm-hmm.
This is how the elected vice president came about to lead C4C. It was a mutual agreement between us and him. And it's not really easy because we really persuade them as a team, as a group, for saying, make him really take up this month and he accepts. So we tell her thank you for that. And by God in power, just like Betty said, March 7, 2018, this year, some Sumana, they denied where APC denied the right to become president of Sierra Leone. C4C, we marched into the State House with Vice President Sumana as the president of Sierra Leone by God in power.
Right. And so, Betsy, coming back to you, Sierra Leone, they run on a democracy. We get a national constitution where they write them based on democracy. So, plenty of people that they feel say, at least the C4C for don't follow a democratic process for me go get a presidential candidate. I mean, we understand saying a mutual, agreement, una talk to her, una prevail on them. But if critics then they would talk say, well, the style of the C4C, not really too different from what APC then do, where they handpick their own presidential candidate. What you go say to them, Betty?
Well, I would just say to them that they need to look at the dynamics right now. C4C now a new party, like how far they say. Now we come together. A guy called Ahmed Conte and I actually conceived the idea and bring people together. And we all find out, say, we're all passionate about change in our country. And we all look and say, we not like the way the outgoing president treat the people's elected vice president. Right. We look and say, we the people are not for take up arms, but we will come together and make sure, say, we bring the same man, that the stone where the builder rejected, bring them back and make sure, say, it will become the head cornerstone in the next government. So that, of course, and it's Kuma in the commons. But any other leader will go come in the future, even where we go down pass away, generations to come go no say, in the history of Sierra Leone, one mean guy stuck in vice president where he know say he really conscious say he not be get life for Duam and he Duam and the people in the party where they belong to and the people in the country all sit down and one great individual perpetrates that kind of violence against the people of Sierra Leone. So we take this man for people leader, we choose him. When we choose him, you know what is Samsumana tell we? He said the same. He said I'm honored for them when I choose me for can be a leader of a movement, that we were a movement at that stage. He said, but you know something? He said the way we want to start, I'm not the right with that for doing. He said that they make people then they make power go into their heads. He said he go find for that one, una first of all give me una constitution there and look at it and know if what you wanna they talk about is serious. Una give me 3 minutes of una meetings that una done the whole 3 consecutive minutes. Let us see una train of thoughts. Let us know if una are the kind of people where I go want to work with. He said then I go want for them una not just make me a leader because una like me, because una say and it's not treat me right. He said it's not done. He said we'll get other people in Sierra Leone where there's some potential leaders. I want to bring it all together. When we bring it all together, then we choose who that one thinks that the most sellable or marketable candidate for represent me. He did not put himself first. That make we underline say a man of principle and a man who really gets the love of Sierra Leone at heart. He not put himself first. He even will open up wider net. People that can take a wide when they struggle to get the leadership of the SLP at the time was on board. He see and say he go lost it. So he come over and begin for work with me. Then the next thing we know, they don't go form the NGC. You know, like say that they try for double cross me. And that we be the do we know the do for them will be next government, we did one for them, we just bring sanity into the politics of Sierra Leone. So when that's happening now, we start beginning things say, oh, if we continue like this, and we chairman, we global chairman, Dr. Aliu Iskandri,
Mm-hmm.
we don't always insist before we start. He said, listen guys, if we want, then we really get change. We really need to register as a political party. He said, otherwise, we will look say that we coordinate affairs, then we get under one umbrella. Then if he say, so tell the party where register when I under umbrella we want go, then that's a different thinking. It's also for them we be on a clear, then we get a clear vision of whose side we go and how we will get there. Then we really get a political party. So from the word go, Ali Iskandri was advocating for them to get a political party.
Okay.
So after certain people in the KKY group, they don't go now, they don't form the NGC. All the ideas the way people don't put together for long will bring opposition political parties together, excluding the SLPP, of course. We look now and say, well, yes, let we say really place up now and register as a political party. And we don't always look and say these people will come together and choose one among them. Everybody come with your own delegates, and these delegates will make the decision. But we will don't see say one and other people in the try for like a double cross the whole idea of double cross we see say we know they go the same direction, and then we see the time of essays. So we say we look, we say, well, now we stick to our agenda. Initially, we unanimously elect Sam Sumana as the executive leader.
Okay.
So we said, don't look and now say, well, since people have go different directions, we will stick to gun. And the stone that the builders rejected, we now the person as Sam Sumana, now we they make into the head cornerstone of the next government, and it is going to happen. Because we don't set up all the modalities, we're working very hard to get simple brains. We don't make noise.
Okay.
That's time we good for. We don't make noise. We act quietly.
Right.
Diplomatic.
Right.
Because they get results.
Okay, yes, good talk. Of course, when I know we'll be done the interview to Alhaji Sam Sumana Naya, and we find out from him talks them for saying that somebody way really very straightforward, direct, honest, and led the country. And so, Mr. Fande, the other things where people that really want to know about the Coalition for Change. First of all, the name is very attractive, Coalition for Change, and everybody they look forward to change in Sierra Leone. So, if I can ask you, what are some of the most immediate policy positions of the Coalition for Change? Like, if how are we able to convince the people that for say if they get for vote for una, these are some of the things they want don't put in place where if una win election, una try for address one to one team. Mr. Fande.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. And I just enjoyed the passionate deliberation of the sister Betty.
Right.
That was very, very good.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to Betty say, when you talk about coalition, first of all, let me start with that. Sympathy started the movement of coalition as alone. So we start the entire movement of coalition as far as this history is concerned. Sympathy started this movement, okay? And just as Betty said, we expected some people to walk with it, but I know panned out, so we decided to register as a political party. Now, all is not lost. Trust me, last time we come, we will tell you, say, this is a movement. With time, we will transform it to the political party we did. And I will tell you right now, even though it's about 2 months left or so for the local elections, the Coalition for Change is still going to have coalition parties within its umbrella who go into that election. I will tell you this, I'm not going to break the story here on news, but we are working on that also. We will not give up on bringing other parties together to come and be a part of this umbrella over to the general election. So that will come, and we'll call you again. We're happy. Say, Ibrahim, here we go. I'll promise to also the cell. Now, in reference to some of the agenda items and some of the manifesto agenda, we'll focus on our first 100 days. We're going to one is to really tackle corruption at the country, because that is something that is a cancer that's killing our citizens, killing our economy, and it take away trust, and it take away investors and from all kinds of country because of corruption. So we focus on education. We make sure we build the educational system, and then of course we make sure we provide school fees for people when we provide them. One of the things we will do is to actually from primary school to secondary school and even to the university level to see how we provide free education for students. Then also we'll make sure education also is not just centralized in Freetown. So we'll make sure the public system, the universities, because some areas are not right now, especially the eastern area, it's not college, no university. So we're gonna diversify that and make sure we get colleges there and universities there, and then also technical institutions in those provinces. So we'll give opportunity for students and the provinces there for many over school. And infrastructure, that's something we're gonna tackle first in our first 100 days. And one of the things that we'll look at is for example, improve on get a first-class hospital. Now Freetown. In addition to that, expand those into the provinces, okay? Because health is a primary issue in Asalo right now. And people they die because of lack of good health, good hospitals. You know. And one of the things that we will accomplish, I will tell you this, it might not be in our first 100 days, but if C4C is given a chance to grow, we, the C4C, because of the progressive agenda, we will build a bridge across Lunge. Okay, we'll do that. And this is not a promise, it's something that we're working on. It's in our manifesto, and it's something we'll deliver on. So those are some of the things that we're looking at as far as C4C is concerned, and we ask people that say, look, this has never been happened. This is the first time that we history we saw a collusion, a third force to kind of election. For say, don't give other people the chance to rule. Don't give APC 50 some years to 60 years, they rule the country between those two parties. And this is where we are. And if you look at the economy, you look at where we are, look at the infrastructures, they've let us down. So we're asking them for some another group of people then an opportunity for rule and see what they can deliver. You know? And I'm sure if they do that, we're not going to give us the opportunity, because this is a group that's made up of different people then where they come together. Some of us, we don't belong to any political party. This is the first time we're getting involved into Salon politics. This will be the first time. So we come with freshness, we come with fresh idea, we come with an agenda, a progressive agenda, we will put the nation first. You know? So I promise you this, Mr. Sherix, and I promise you this, you listen to them, and I promise the Salon people that say they will never regret having C4C take over the leadership of Salon and give us the 5 years that we need to transform the country, you know, from education to the economy to health, by God the power.
Right.
And Ibrahim,
yes.
if you don't mind,
yes, go ahead.
A quick addendum there. In the first 100 days, we number one, revisit the toll road fees. We believe say a very high, exploitative, and not in the interest of the Sierra Leonean people. So that toll road day, we therefore revisit them and make sure say we will bring and can down to a minimal fee we will make go impact on the price of transport, and go make the drivers them feel say they under some economic strangulation. We will also make sure say all the cities in Sierra Leone, especially the capital city, Freetown, will be clean of filth, because the city is very dirty right now, and we all know say cleanliness is next to godliness. In the first 100 days, the streets of Freetown will be very, very clean, and the streets of all the cities in the country will be clean. In the first 100 days, we will make sure say people that wait there on government payroll, as the month they done so, the last Friday of the month, they get them paychecks. We go do them. It go happen. We know we get with people then where they work on the modalities for making things that they happen. We will also make sure say in the first 100 days, we go ask the public for let them cooperate with we, for let them bring forward information regarding the monies them where people them we don't they steal from the people. All the money the way we don't lost to corruption will begin to retrieve them. So I think say that the four most important thing in that way I will add to the first 100 days.
Right.
Then of course we'll get we will also arrange for them to get a direct flight we will run from the United States of America to Sierra Leone. That will make the price of air tickets drop and it will on trade between Sierra Leone and the United States. When time we won, no say we executive leader get for come out with a manifesto. So no people
we don't know and preempt time.
Still because I know say what you don't talk, so copycats are out there now taking notes, they get the notes part they get for say, oh, I think of this story. So because of that reason we'll do more than that.
Right.
But while you know say that's so good. As much civic election be so, let them praise God say we think before the end of May, we don't make sure say we don't revisit Saturday. Thank you.
Right, but definitely, you know, some of the yes, Funny.
One important area that we're gonna tackle right off the bat is agriculture and fight hunger, because right now people they pay so many thousands of leones just for a bag of rice. That is something we're going to reduce in our first 100 days, in fact, the first 30 days. Price of rice. Reduction in rice price immediately. That is something we're going to take back to the days of SFPP. As much as we say the SFPP, we don't have SFPP or APC, but in those days, in the last 10 years or so, the rice price was like, 60,000? Or so, or 40,000. Now they're looking at 240,000, 260,000. That price will come down the first 30 days drastically. We're gonna take on hunger.
Okay.
And provide food for people then.
Right. So, of course, these are all very plausible ideas. These are very promising policy positions of the C4C. And so, Betty, make I ask you this question, you know, because plenty of people in the way they maintain this idea for, say, you know, the emergence of the C4C not to necessarily for gain political advantage in the country, for form the next government, but it is an organization where una form out of anger at the APC, and so when I try for pull chest by APC for show and say, you know what, and see now when I do what when I do we self go show when I say we go do na something. So is this really about, you know, trying for revenge at the APC, or is it honestly about moving Sierra Leone forward, Betty?
Well, honestly, this is about moving Sierra Leone forward. Let me tell you what, even the executive leader, when His Excellency the Vice President Sam Sumana, the APC person, expel him, not so.
Right.
A lot of people, the way they are being paid up party members and whole party card, then I'll be APC. We're not really there for them, we can, let's say, we will punish APC. We're there for them, we look, say, we will free the people of Sierra Leone from the hands of the wicked. People they in a salon where they amass so much wealth, they make it sit on at banks in foreign countries. Then you look at the people of Sierra Leone, they live in abject poverty, they wallow in filth, they wallow in depression. You look at the way people they die. Sometimes when I call back home, I was scared for us to say we're so posting. Because the next thing they tell you, if you don't die, we're thinking of malaria, we're thinking of typhoid, we're thinking of an accident to die by. Man, it's really pathetic. We want a change being a Sierra Leone. We want a change being a Sierra Leone where go impact on the lives of the people. You will see videos of Sierra Leonean young people when are potential leaders tomorrow. Then are foreign countries. They undergo suffering, torture, human rights violations. Right. Simply because we country, God build them. God creates Sierra Leone as a paradise. But because of the leaderships and what we don't get in the last 50-something years when we become a self-ruled state, the people they really cater to their own interest. They forget about the masses. them force the young people them for flee the country. Them force the young people them for go seek greener pastures where we get our potentially. So what do we want to do? We want for them we create Sierra Leone, make it be the paradise that it used to be, the lost glory. Let me find out for the people of Sierra Leone. Let the poor man not get for begin scratching aid for member how he will send him picking go school. But let we get opportunities for even picking them from under privileged homes. Let them get the equal opportunity like the gentleman picking them.
Right.
In our days, when they go school, I was classmates with Shaka Stevens, the president in Grand Pekin. Today, they know they are Sierra Leone. Today, as the people they get the slightest opportunity now to let them flee the country. Wait till they flee? Because we all, I know they put the blame on the leaders, all of us, no look say for help for them will make the country great. We get the potential. We just turn we back. We just become materialistic. In those days, Creole people and they take country picking them.
Please join us now to sign this petition. If the Sierra Leonean Citizenship Act, amended in 2006, was signed by the former president of the country, late Ahmad Tijan-Kaba, and then it has been upheld since his signature by subsequent government of the All People's Congress, the APC, from 2007 to now, why change it now? And so, ladies and gentlemen, join us to petition this very retrogressive effort employed by the government and some political parties. Join the effort by signing the petition right now.
Conduct themselves for a peaceful election. You know, means say you know go campaign to pass the way they other party.
Oh, yesterday about the reality in our country. A country that is bitterly divided against itself. A country in which the poor are drowning in poverty while the rich swim in affluence, a country in which very few people can access justice, a country in which education is hardly affordable, a country in which the economy is battered.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is how we are going to come to the end of this broadcast for tonight. Of course, one for telling plenty thank you for the time. Of course, not forget to go sign the petition. Of course, they're out now. Not forget, because now this week you always do, Sierra Leoneans will always forget to do the right things. You know, and they will sit down, they complain at corner. So this time is your time to go and sign the petition. Very important. You know, you need to go sign the petition, right? And so we ask that you do that immediately, notwithstanding, you know, this is the time you have to do something like that, right? All right, and so from there, I want to tell you plenty thank you for my time and for everything. Thank you very much for your time today. Stick around.
SBM. AK. Listen. Open your eyes. Free your mind. Yeah, I can really smell the fear. And I they see the scars on them. I they also feel the pain. And I can relate with you. Salon people and they suffer. Only a small few they thief and they get richer. Salon people and they cry. And the leaders they don't really care. But these leaders they not really fair. Over 80% people below poverty. But these people ain't too selfish. How you get mansions from Peking and they sleep not hit? Because me a minister. That means that they above the law. Because now me not the power. That means that you can tell me shit. David Tambayo not the truth. Monologue. And they put in a tight place. David Tambayo not the voice. Monologue. And they really try to cut the voice. What happened to democracy? What about freedom of speech? What happened to me people then? Salon future they get stacker. Kellogg's hold on, let them lock me. I they talk the truth. When you talk true, they say not trouble. They can't for stats when they be lock me up. Now it's small picking, not 2 years old. I look at your eyes, I see me picking. I swear to God, tears run down my eyes.